Hello people, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to the Propaganda Machine. This is the Game Week 12 Premier League preview show, and usually we start with Arsenal, but today we're starting with the reigning champions, Manchester City. They lost 4-0 against Tottenham Hotspurs. And this was quite frankly embarrassing from the champions. They are now the first champions to lose 5 in a row since the 1950s or 60s. I think it's even 1958 to be precise, which you can just tell has been embarrassing. Pep hadn't lost 4 in a row. He hadn't lost 5 in a row. Well, these group of City players are breaking records, all for the wrong reasons. And it's just looking bleak. The first 10 minutes, City looked very good. They actually looked like they could do something in this game, but no, they couldn't. Once Spurs got the first goal, Kulusevski beautiful ball into Maddison, who put it away. The capitulation begun, and Maddison got a second goal, dinked it over the goalkeeper, great reverse pass from Son, and it went into half-time 2-0. And I was thinking, it's Tottenham, they're going to throw this away. There's no way Man City aren't going to come back. We've seen it previously against Brighton, where they had a 2-goal lead, and what did? They decided to throw it away for I don't know what reason. But this time, they put their foot on the gas and they made it 3, and then they made it 4. So it was an outstanding performance from Tottenham. They done things differently. It was more a mid-block than the high line that they usually do. And that was devastating. The press was ruthless from them, causing absolute havoc, pinching the ball off Man City defenders high up the pitch, and I'm pretty sure at least 2 of their goals were from that, and they were also devastating on the counter-attack. Man City just could not handle Tottenham. This is somewhat of a bogey team for Man City. I think they've only won 3 in the last 10 against Tottenham. Pep must hate this Tottenham Hotspurs. I don't know if Tottenham's finished above Man City. Maybe once. I think in Pep's first season, that's the only time they finished above them. But every single season, Man City finish above them. But it doesn't matter if they're the better team. Tottenham seem to have their number. So now let's talk about this Manchester City. First person I want to talk about, Mr. Erling Haaland. Stay humble, eh? Stay humble. Why did you even say that to Mikel Arteta? You had no reason to even speak to him. I don't get it. When do you really see players talking trash to other opposition managers? Especially after a draw. You didn't even win the game. Now you've only got 2 goals since, with an XG of 8 XG. So you're underperforming your XG, missing chance after chance. His XG in that game alone must have been 2. He was probably expected to score so many goals, because I'm thinking there was at least 3 chances on another day. If he had his shooting boots on, the hat-trick would have been Erling Haaland's, walking away with the match ball. Manchester City potentially get a draw out of that game, because their defence is a massive problem. Kyle Walker, old, finished, getting cooked left, right and centre. It was from last season. Last season he was getting cooked. You probably see the clip. Ola Aina cooked him. Just went past him like he weren't there. This season, Adama Traore, cooking. Yesterday, Werner treating him like he was nobody. Literally, he didn't even look like he was running at full speed, and Walker could not catch him, even though he had the ball. He's been finished from a season ago. You saw him at the Euros. At the Euros, he was shocking, at fault for various goals for England, and Man City as a whole, their defence are exposed. Now we're seeing no Rodri. The defenders are being asked to defend. Can they defend? No, they can't. John Stones, injured every other game. Vardio, better going forward than defending. Akanji looks like the Borussia Dortmund defender. Not the best, because for Switzerland, he's usually in the free. Ake is always injured as well. And then we go into the midfield. They were playing a young boy, Rico Lewis, there. That is not going to work. Nobody is scared of Rico Lewis in midfield. Yes, he's got a lot of talent. But really? Where's the legs? Then they had Bernardo and Gundogan. Gundogan, he's like 39. Why did they bring him back? They brought him back and thought, yeah, we got Gundogan. No. No good. Then we go into the forward line. It's Erling Haaland and Inshallah. Foden, no Premier League goals. Savio, no Premier League goals. Grealish, no Premier League goals. Then we have Doku, 1 Premier League goal. So 1. How the hell are they expected to win the league when these forward players can't even get a goal? We look at their top goal scorers, and it's Haaland on 12. Next up, I think, is Vardio and Kovacic on 3 goals. That is poor. And all of those players, they're very good on the eye. They're aesthetically pleasing. But in football, the aesthetics don't matter. You need to look good. But the most important thing is output. If you don't have output, there's no point in looking good. You might as well be a Joga Bonito player. Because if Haaland gets injured, done. City are 1 Haaland injury away from packing up all competitions, or every single competition, because the false 9 is not going to work. How can a false 9 work if Kovacic and Vardio are your second most effective forwards? Oh, I'm saying it now for free. Man City are not winning the league. No, it's done. It is done. They're not even finishing in the top 2. I'm writing them off from now. Straight up. No chance. No way. The Rodri stocks, they're going up by the day. He won the Ballon d'Or, and people were saying, nah, how can you give it to a midfielder? Well, look, these men are literally capitulating in front of our very eyes, and people think they can get a Zubimendi. What's a Zubimendi really going to do in the Premier League? I promise you, it's going to be the exact same thing. He's probably built like Rico Lewis. He's going to need at least 6 to 18 months to adjust to the Premier League. Remember when Rodri came in? He needed 12 months to adjust. So how do you think Zubimendi's going to come in and just, oh, City are going to start winning games? You're deluded. You're deluding yourself. Pep is a genius, but he's not a miracle worker. There is no way Man City... You know what? I'm going one step further. The only thing they can win is the FA Cup because they're already dumped out of the League Cup. And yeah, maybe they'll get lucky draws, get Championship, League One, non-league opposition, get to the final, and a one-off game is Man City. They can still beat anyone on their day. But for me, the Champions League, myth. Myth. For Sporting Lisbon to pack them 4-1, when has that ever happened? When have City conceded 4 goals twice in a season? No way. Real Madrid don't look the best. But can you imagine their attack against that defense? Nah. City, sit this one out. You've won 4 in a row. Your belly's full. You've been eating. But this season, you just take stock and go again next year because it's a write-off. So I've given a lot of heat to Man City because Ethan Nwaneri has the same amount of goals as all their forwards put together, except Haaland, obviously. But let's talk about Tottenham, especially Kulusevski. This man, I tried to look at his stats. It was only saying 2 goals and 3 assists, but no, this is not telling me the full story because most times I see him, if Tottenham play well, Kulusevski plays well. He's so strong. He's deceptively strong. And he's creative. That pass from Maddison, not many players would have picked that out, but he picked it out. It was a beautiful ball. He carries the ball from deep in his half all the way up the pitch. Oh, he's having a fantastic season. And yeah, he's back to the Kulusevski from when he first signed. And that is good news if you're a Tottenham fan. Next game, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. This was the most convincing performance of the season from Arsenal. Nottingham Forest, they never stood a chance. From minute 1, usually when Arsenal win, you can tell they're going to win. That's when they're at their best. From minute 1, as an Arsenal fan, especially home games, you're watching and you just know when we're on it from minute 1, not many teams have a chance against us. Not many teams. And Nottingham Forest in this game, 0 shots on target. They came and they were just participants. It was like training. Attack v defense. Let's keep this one low. That is what it looked like. It looked like they had no belief. And when you have players like Odegaard and Saka on song, it's a long, long day. And their combination in this game was so devastating. Odegaard assist, Saka goal and assist. They're just destroying people. Odegaard trickery, Saka nutmegging people. His goal, the defenders were scared. They didn't want to touch him and he just smashed it home. Odegaard everywhere on the pitch, causing havoc, just making runs, defenders following him because they're like, we can't let this guy touch the ball, opening up space for others. Partey, he got his goal. Then a young man, Ethan Nwaneri, is a star in the making. He is a star. What 17-year-old is doing this in the Premier League? No one. He's got 4 goals already. 4 goals. I can guarantee you some of those Man City forwards won't even get 4 goals this season. So it's very, very good times ahead for the Gunners, especially if they continue to perform like that and keep the better players fit, the Odegaards and Sakas, because when they're fit and available, Arsenal always have a chance to go on a big run. But without them, you'll probably say the league is Liverpool's, especially with a 9-point buffer. Next game, Southampton 2, Liverpool 3. Liverpool in this game, they didn't have their best performance, but what does that matter? Especially when you're playing Southampton. Southampton, they always give teams chances. They like to play out from the back. And in this game, the first goal, it was their own making. They passed it to Szoboszlai, who bent it in the top corner. And from that, you're thinking, uh-oh, could this be a serious pasting? But lucky for Southampton, they got back in the game, and that was from a penalty. Tyler Dibling, who he won't be at Southampton past this season, he's gone. Him, if Fatal never got injured, him and Leif Davis and the other Liam Delap, those are probably 4 players that whether these newly promoted sides get relegated, they will more than likely stay in the Premier League because they look very, very talented. So Dibling drew the foul from Robertson. Was it a penalty? Weren't it a penalty? I don't know. The foul looked like it was outside the box. Did it continue in? I'm not so sure, but they got their penalty. They've missed again, but lucky for them, they got the rebound and made it 1-1. Then Dibling again. This time he played the fantastic ball through, I'm not sure who it went to, I think it was to Armstrong. Armstrong played it across the box to Fernandez. Southampton 2-1. At this stage, you're thinking, okay, Southampton are in the ascendancy. They had a chance to get a penalty to make it 3-1. Was it? Weren't it? I don't know. I'm not too sure. But Russell Martin was convinced that it was a penalty. Armstrong was holding on to young Connor Bradley. Kelleher did take him out. He missed the ball and he took him out. That was last time Sanchez done that, but he just got a touch on the ball, so it weren't a penalty. But this time, there was no touch on the ball. Kelleher took him out. But those are, what do they say? 5 tens and half a dozen or whatever they say. But like I say, Southampton, they always give you a chance. And this time, it was the man at the back, their goalkeeper, McCarthy. What a bozo. A ball over the top. And I haven't spoke about him. Mo Salah got the touch into the open goal. It was just a little touch into the open goal because the goalie decided to come out. Why would you come out and leave yourself that vulnerable? Stay in your goal. Your defenders might get back. Idiot. And then another bozo, someone Sugawara, decided to handball it. Liverpool didn't play their best, but they had the chance to make it 3-2. And of course, Mo Salah's going to do it. This man is amazing. Liverpool need to hope and pray. Hope and pray, hope and pray, hope and pray that Mo Salah stays fit, because Diaz, he looked good at the start of the season. I don't know when his last goal was. Nunes, we all know Nunes. Jota, he can't stay fit. Gakpo might be able to step up. That's the one player, but I don't know what they'll do on that right-hand side, because he is such a difference maker. So key. That is now 10 goals and about, is it 6 assists this season. Mo Salah in outstanding form this season. He is a danger man. So Liverpool now 8 points clear of Man City, 9 of Arsenal and Chelsea, even Brighton as well. They are the clear favourites to win the league. If they beat Man City at Anfield on Sunday, they fully go clear as the favourites and take Man City out of commission for this league, because they ain't coming back, especially the way they're performing. So you'll be very disappointed as a Liverpool fan if you do not go on to win the league this season. Next game, Ipswich 1, Manchester United 1. Oh, Ruben Amorim's first game. I did say this game will end 1-1. I said it because I know these Man United players. I know them very well. They will always let down their manager, without a doubt. They can't help themselves. And the game started off to a flyer. Man United, Ahmad, who's probably been their most consistent player when he gets to play, I should say, crossed it in to Rashford. And Rashford got in front of the goalie, tapped it in. 1-0 to Man United. Might have looked good for about 10 minutes, but this is the thing with Man United. They will always find a way to allow the opposition a foothold in the game. And from that moment onwards, you could say Ipswich looked like they were always going to score, and they were always going to get something out of this game. Like I say, Man United are their own worst enemy. One player who you could say was a meme, was banter, Andre Onana. Andre Onana, he is saving Man United. Game after game, he's been saving Man United. Even though the first season, we all saw he was struggling. But now, you can say Onana and Ahmad are the most consistent players for Manchester United. Everyone else, hot, cold. Mazraoui as well, he's had a good start to the season. We've got to give him that. He's been a very, very good signing. But, yeah, it's a rude awakening for Amorim. He's probably seen that some of these players, they're not up to it. And if we look at their starting lineup, Onana in goal, Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Johnny Evans. Ahmad and Diego Dalot. Casemiro, Eriksen. Garnacho, Bruno, and Rashford. I look at this. Onana, yep, will stay in goal. De Ligt will probably stay centre-back. Mazraoui, he probably won't be the right centre-back moving forward in, say, 6 to 18 months' time under Amorim. Johnny Evans, I can't see him staying at the club longer than this season. Dalot, no way is he going to be the left wing back. Casemiro, Eriksen, no way. No way. There's no way they can be a midfield two, or even either one of them can be in a midfield two in the Premier League. Ruben Amorim's going to need players that are mobile. It might be Ugarte and Mainu, but will they be mobile enough? I do not know. I'm not too sure. Garnacho. This player is so wasteful. He's probably best as a wing back. because in the central areas, he's wasteful. I've always said it about him. He's one of these players that are more on instinct. When there's not enough time to think and he just in front of goal and he can just bang, hit it. Rashford, he ain't going to be the striker. So I can only see Bruno, De Ligt and Onana staying in those positions. Ahmad will probably go further forward because he is very, very effective. Mazraoui will probably be pushed out to the right, and then we'll probably start to see a better version of Man United. But they need at least, I would say, 6 signings because the lack of quality is evident. We can all see it. So I assume Ruben Amorim will quickly pick up on it too, because I do think he is a good manager. Ipswich, they played their part in this game and they were very, very good. They should have won, but in the Premier League, if you don't take your chances, I can't feel sorry for you. It's down to you. And Delap, he was very good in build-up, getting into the right positions, but it's the goal scoring that let him down, the finishing. He had multiple chances. He couldn't beat Onana. And people go too far saying, oh yeah, he's next up. He's guaranteed to be the next one to take over Harry Kane. You got to calm down. Remember Evan Ferguson? He was being touted as £100 million striker. Now where is he? He can't get in front of Welbeck. Welbeck is in the twilight of his career. Evan Ferguson is barely featuring for Brighton. So that just goes to show that with young players, you just gotta manage expectations. Don't expect too much too soon. He looks very good, but when you're missing chances like that, there's no guarantee that you are a star for England. You need to be clinical, because we've seen Harry Kane. Harry Kane, no matter what you want to say about him, has been clinical. Next game, Leicester 1, Chelsea 2. And this game proved to be the final nail in Steve Cooper's coffin. Oh, Nottingham Forest sacked him. Now Leicester City have sacked him. But for me, in this game, this was unjust. He didn't deserve to be sacked. There's no way they should have sacked him. Why? Why did they do it? Leicester, they're not even in the relegation zone. And they've just got rid of him. So unless they have someone that they view as significantly better, a Graham Potter or David Moyes, then this decision is not going to make sense, because currently he's out the relegation zone. So their next 5 games are going to be crucial for them, because the new manager is going to need to pick up, you'd say, 7 to 9 points. If they don't, they're probably going to find themselves in the relegation zone, and sacking Steve Cooper will look like it'll be all for nothing. They're going to need an instant manager bounce. Instant. Because after those 5 games, I believe they have Liverpool and Manchester City. So say they only get 4 points. They're not going to beat Liverpool and Man City. No chance. Even with Man City's form, no way. I can't see it. I cannot see this Leicester doing bits, especially as Fatawu, the danger man, is injured. But Chelsea, quietly going about their business, sitting in 3rd place. You'd say Enzo Maresca has exceeded expectations. Me, I saw them in pre-season and I thought, they look finished. But that's the thing about pre-season. You can't really judge a manager too harshly or a team too harshly in pre-season, because here's proof. I think Liverpool won the league and they lost every single game in pre-season, and they started the season on fire. I think, was it 26 wins and 1 draw from their opening 27 games? So Chelsea doing very well, sitting in third, so top four has got to be an expectation. They got to demand it from this point forward because we're looking at everyone else. No one is really looking consistent. The 4 teams in the top four now are probably who you'd expect, but there's always room for someone else to catch up if Chelsea don't stay consistent. One player though that I must say he's proved me wrong is Nicholas Jackson. I think that's now 7 goals for the season and maybe 3 assists. Jackson last season missing chance after chance after chance. Now he's proving clinical. He is proving to be a very competent striker in the Premier League, and it's more 1 and 2, a bit more than 1 and 2, so he could be on course for 20 goals. And if he gets 20 goals for Chelsea, you could say that was a fantastic season. So, Jackson, I don't quite apologize, but it's a my bad. I didn't see it, but now I see it. And me, I give praise when praise is due. You can't just hate for hating's sake. Next game, Fulham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 4. Fulham took the lead in this game, and you're just thinking, yeah, they can go on and do something, but no one could have predicted what happened next. This was a beating. I did say they're a very inconsistent side. You don't know what you're gonna get. They can do a madness, or a madness can be done to them, and that is what happened. And one player who was at the forefront of things, Matheus Cunha. We take a look at his stats. That is now 7 goals and 3 assists for the season in 12 games. He is performing out of his skin. And Wolves are very, very lucky to have him in their side, because when you have a player that is doing what he's doing, that's 10 and 12 goals and assists, he's almost guaranteeing them survival, because most teams down at the bottom aren't going to have a player that gets you double digits goals, let alone say 20 goals and assists, because that's 10 and 12. We're not halfway through the season. He's on course for 30. So this is a player who might not be at Wolves past this season, as it's the goal he scored, some of the goals, it's the performances, the strength. He's always a danger. Opposition are just thinking, this guy, we need to get him under control, because if you don't, there's big problems. And it's not just him. That's why I always said Wolves, you looked at their opening games of the season, those first, say, 8 fixtures, they were tough. They played Man City. Did they play Liverpool? I'm not sure. They might have played Liverpool. They played Arsenal. They played Chelsea. They played Newcastle. They played Aston Villa. So many teams near the top of the table, they were forced to play them. But now, unbeaten in 4, 2 draws and 2 wins. The fixture list is more kinder to them. And now they're creeping out of the relegation zone and climbing up the table. Gary O'Neill, there's no more talk about his job. There's no more booing in the stadium to get him out. The board were right. They were right in keeping him in his job. Because if they didn't, who knows? It could have all crumbled. Or someone else might have got the glory. But well done to the Wolves board. You don't always praise board members. You usually give them stick. But with this one, this was very, very smart. Fulham, they go back to the drawing board. I'm sure they'll be fine, but they don't want to be getting beat 4-1 at home by teams lower down the table. That shouldn't be on. Next game, Villa 2, Palace 2. Palace gave up the lead twice. This should have been a game that they got a victory from and ease their relegation fears. But instead, they gave up the lead twice and now they're still in that relegation zone. Glasner got the new manager bounce, but now he's not bouncing. The bounce has gone flat. Mateta, I don't know, has he got goals this season? Has he got more than 2? I'm pretty sure last season they were saying it was only Erling Haaland who had more goals than him on that period when Glasner came in. Now, what the hell? Ismaila Sarr in this game, he was the man that was doing the damage. He got them off to a flyer. Nice finish. Then Watkins equalised. Villa also had a penalty. Yuri Tielemans, or Keegan from EastEnders as my mum calls him, failed to convert from the spot. Then you have a young man called Devaney putting Palace back in the lead. But for some reason, Villa were able to get back in the game and Palace gave up a lead for the second time. But Villa are the ones with big issues. 6 games, no wins in all competitions. Lost their first Champions League game. Been dumped out of the League Cup. No wins in 4 in the Premier League. Sliding down the table. Unai Emery, if he was at another side, he would be on fraud watch. They've got Juventus in the Champions League and then Chelsea in the league. So if it's 8 in a row, that's embarrassing. Embarrassing. But no one's speaking about it. They're always talking, Emery, why did Arsenal let him go? He's doing better than Arteta. It's a big man. 6 games, no win. How? That is appalling. We're looking at Man City and thinking 5 no wins. They're on 6. And if they don't beat Juventus and Chelsea, it's 8. But that's how you know the difference in levels between a big club and a small club. Small clubs, you can afford to do this. There's no expectations. At Aston Villa, they're just happy to be there. At Arsenal, he couldn't do this. He couldn't get away with this level of form. And that's why we kicked him to the curb. That was the right decision. PSG weren't good enough there. He was doing big bottle jobs. Big. I believe it was him who had the 4-0 lead against Barcelona and somehow managed to lose 6-1 in the next game. Probably the biggest capitulation in Champions League history. And you think I wanted that at Arsenal? Nah. He needed to get out and I have no regrets in wanting him out. I'm happy. The board, that was the best decision you made, kicking him out, because there was no way he was turning it round. And now you're going to see this season, Aston Villa, they won't be the same as last season. I probably am expecting them to finish 9th. That's what I'm saying, 9th. Next game, Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. Bournemouth, 4 wins this season. 2 of them have come against Man City and Arsenal. The other one was Everton and Southampton, 2 relegation sides. So you can just see, how did these teams manage to beat the best sides and then the worst sides, but everyone else are allowed to pick up 3 points? They can't beat them. It's very, very annoying for me that my team dropped points to a team like Bournemouth. How do we let these teams beat us? They can't beat other teams, but we allowed them to beat us. Brighton, on the other hand, they are on a good run of form. They're currently sitting in 5th position in the league, and they could be higher. They are joined with Chelsea and Arsenal on 22 points. One player that would have probably got them higher is João Pedro. He's back. 4 goals, 2 assists in 6 games. He's only played half the games this season. So you can just imagine, if he was available, what difference could he have made to this Brighton side? And in this game, nice poacher's goal. And then he showed his class with a beautiful assist, a no-look pass threaded into the path of Mitoma, who buried it. So Brighton 2-1 winners, sitting in 5th, and it's looking very promising. The new manager is doing great things. No doubt he'll be linked with a move away in the summer. Next game, last night's game, West Ham versus Newcastle. Newcastle, just like Bournemouth, they perform against the better sides at home. They beat Spurs, they beat Arsenal, they drew with Man City, but Brighton beat them. Now West Ham 2-0. They are very, very inconsistent, and that's why they're in around 10th place in the table. It's not very good from Newcastle this season. There's been a lot of inconsistencies, poor performances. West Ham had 6 shots on target to their 2, but they had more shots than West Ham, almost 3 times the amount of corners. Isak, you got to get out of there, mate. The fans had a banner for Isak. They were pleading for him to stay, but if he's got any sense, he'll be out of there. Even though this season he's been a bit hot and cold. He shows his quality, but I don't know. Is it because he just wants out? Who knows? Gordon not had the same impact as he did last season. Harvey Barnes has been in and out the side. But yeah, it's another defeat for Newcastle. And West Ham, on the other hand, Lopetegui. Some were fearing for his job this week, but he's got the victory. That is now 2 games without a defeat. They've only done that one other time this season. They've never gone 3 games without a defeat. So maybe on the weekend they will be able to do that against Arsenal. Who knows? Stranger things have happened, as this season is one of those seasons where anything can happen. We don't know what's going to happen, and neither do you. So now West Ham, they're 6 points clear of the relegation, and they've got a bit of breathing space. So they've got a bit of momentum now going into their next game. Let's see how that plays out. Last game, Everton 0, Brentford 0. There's not much to talk about in this game. Brentford got a man sent off for a questionable red card. I think in this day and age, they're just given, aren't they? But Everton, they're just a championship side. I'm tired of them. Just get them relegated. Just get them gone. They're literally staying in this league by default. 3 worst teams every year, surviving by the skin of their teeth. It's tiring now. I think we need a petition. Just kick Everton out. Their fans, yeah, they have good fans. They have a nice stadium. But is that enough to be a Premier League side? I don't think so. I'm tired. The Calvert-Lewins, the Betos, this guy, that guy. They're playing a 54-year-old Ashley Young every week. The man should be in Saudi chilling, getting his money because he's had a fantastic career. And just big up to Ashley Young. He is a proper professional. But the fact he starts for Everton just tells me what I need to know about them. This is championship side. So those are all the games this week. Now we'll take a quick look at the predictions. I predicted the Man United result correctly. Wins for Arsenal and Liverpool, I got that right. And then I predicted a draw for the Everton and Brentford game, I got that right. But the rest of the games, I did get them wrong. So it weren't the best week in the prediction table for me. Now we'll take a quick look at the Premier League table. Liverpool sitting high, 9 points clear of Arsenal, 8 of City. And you could say the ball is in their court. Brighton in 5th place in the table, 1 place above Tottenham, who rised up the table. Newcastle missed the chance to go all the way up there. Nottingham Forest dropping down slightly into 7th place. And then we look lower down the table. Man United in 12th. There's only 6 points that separate Man United in 12th position all the way up to Arsenal in 3rd. So this is a very, very close league. And as for the bottom of the table, Southampton rooted on 4. And Wolves just about getting out of the relegation zone. So it's been a good weekend for them. Guys, that's been the Premier League preview show. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel. Bless.